14 years old when I got diagnosed with PCOS. But let's start from the beginning. 8 years old, I had my first period. I was actually at a softball game with my friends. My parents were not even there. But I did, of course, have one of my friend's moms there, and she kind of like walked me through it and had a pad and all those things on hand. Then I ended up like going home, having the whole conversation with my mom, all those things. We ended up going into a doctor probably at the age of like 9.5, because I was just like having these really, really intense pains. And then nothing was really done about it except for the fact that they were like, here, take birth control. That's all. And then I did not go back to the doctor for any type of, like menstrual care or anything until I was the age of 14, because my periods were so imbalanced. They were just so terrible. I was having extreme pains. The birth control was just not helping. So that's when I was diagnosed with PCOS, found out I have insulin resistance, all those things. From the ages of 14 to 18, I did not have any type of like menstrual doctor's appointments or anything. I literally was just taking birth control. But as soon as I turned 18 years old, I scheduled my very first gynecologist appointment on my own. I went, sat down with the doctor, and was like, hey, I know I have PCOS. I am deciding on my own that I'm going to quit birth control because I feel like it's just messing up everything. I have acne. There's so much things going on. And then I decided to quit birth control. Now I grow a full beard. Metformin does not work for me. They tried putting it on. My body just like completely rejected it. It was so terrible. The very first gynecologist appointment, again, I was 18 years old. My very first time ever going. I literally walked in, met the doctor. Before he even asked me how I was doing, he was like, you're overweight and that's probably half of your problems. Didn't even make sure I was the right client. Funny is, I was like 160 pounds. You'd be shocked to see me now. I immediately walked out and was like crying because I'm sensitive, okay? I'm just a sensitive person. I want another doctor because this guy's not it. He was a grumpy old man. This guy's not gonna work. I have this other gynecologist. He's the one that previously diagnosed me when I was like 14 and was like, yeah, you do have PCOS. And a whole bunch of different tests, and pretty much we're at the same exact spot we were when I was 14. He's like, yeah, you just have PCOS. What do you want me to do? Like, unfortunately, I don't have the best doctors, but I also can't find any locally. That's great. So I just have to do what I can and do what I can to advocate for myself. Anyway, so I went back around the age of like 19, and was like, hey, my husband and I want to start trying for a baby because we know I have PCOS and it's going to take forever. So to lose weight, keep track of my periods and when I ovulate. And then around the age of 23, I was put on Clomid. Unfortunately, that did not work. And then I went around January of 2026. And he's like, okay, whenever you start your period, just call in on days 3 and 4 and we'll get you some lab work set in. And on day 12, we'll do an ultrasound just to make sure you're like ovulating, all that stuff. Well, unfortunately, I have not had a like consistent period on days where the lab's open to do that. So honestly, right now I'm just kind of like taking things into my own hands. I'm trying to figure out my own health, switch to like non-toxic stuff. I'm trying to grow my own stuff. You'll see upcoming videos on that. I'm also going to be making my own like shampoo, conditioner, laundry soap, hand soap, all that stuff because I'm really, really wanting a baby. And like I'm trying to lock the fudge in. If you guys are also struggling with that, make sure that you are following because there's going to be a crap ton of content coming for that soon. That's all I want, is just to grow a freaking community where we're not feeling so alone, because PCOS is so lonely, and me personally, I don't have anyone in my real life that can like relate to me, and so I use you guys for that. Honestly, I love when you guys DM me checking on me, because I'm also checking in on you half of the time whenever you tell me your stories, because otherwise I'm not gonna know what you're going through, boo. I've gained so many besties from this community. I love reading your guys' DMs and stuff. You guys help me out more than you know. I am focusing on like balancing my hormones and like eating better and doing things to lose some weight. Of course, we all want happy, healthy babies. I tried a GLP-1 twice, actually. The first time I tried tirzepatide, and the second time I tried Zepbound. 3 years later, I am now puking every single morning, literally just stomach bile, and I don't know why. The doctors can't figure it out, so there's that. I also just literally could not eat anything, and that's not how I want to lose weight. I want to do it healthily, in a healthy way. I'm just doing things like focusing on whole foods, prioritizing 150 grams of protein every day, 30 grams of fiber, healthy fat. Don't wrong, I still have the occasional soda and like sweet coffee from Starbucks, but I try to do like 80% more of these swaps and only 20% of those like mindless things, I guess. Just focusing on becoming like a better, happier, healthier wife. Whenever I'm able to bring kids into the world, we'll all be a happy, healthy family. Because honestly, I am super easy to get irritable right now. And that's something that I'm like internally working on. And then of course I have insecurity issues with like my facial hair and such. So it's a battle, but we're getting through it. It's like you, then maybe hit that follow button so you can also go through this journey with me. We can heal together. But I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.